Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael. Today's show, we have a special guest for our business segment today. We have Lisa Rehburg from Rehburg Investments. Lisa has quite a nice history. She graduated from Cal State Fullerton with a business administration degree, and she got a master's in organizational development at the University of San Francisco, right here by the Bay.
That's right.
After that, she became a regional sales director at Anthem Blue Cross. She became a vice president in national sales at Word and Brown. And from there, she went to Colonial, where she was a regional sales director. She took off for a year to take care of some family, which is always a great thing to do. And then she moved on to Allstate. And now she's where she is. She's at Rehburg Life Settlements, where both Lisa and I met. And Lisa is great for working with, and all the details were right in play, and everything worked terrifically. So I want to introduce Lisa to everybody. Hello, Lisa.
Well, hello.
So what can you tell us about, I guess you used to work in health when you were at Anthem Blue Cross?
Yeah, I did. I started my career in health insurance, and that doesn't even include, before that, I started working as a file clerk for a third-party administrator administering health insurance products while I was going to college. So I've been
Oh,
in the
wow.
insurance world a long time.
Oh, that's great. And then Word and Brown, what does Word and Brown specialize in?
Health insurance. So they are a general agency for health insurance. So my entire career has pretty much been working with insurance agents like you, and working with them to help their clients in different ways. And so for Word and Brown, they are typically a small group general agency.
Okay. And then at Colonial, you're a regional manager as well, and they do health insurance, supplemental health insurance, I believe.
They do. So as broker market manager for 7 states. So I was in an airport every week.
Oh, wow. And then you you went over to Allstate, and you were also doing health insurance there.
So it's the same type of products that Colonial has. It's going to be the supplemental worksite products, so the critical illness and supplemental hospital products, accident plans, those types of things. So it's Allstate Benefits. So it is Mother Allstate, but it's a division called Allstate Benefits.
Oh, very interesting. I didn't even know they really had that. And
They
then,
do.
and then you started Rehburg Life Settlements. How did that all transpire?
Yeah, how did I wind up here, right? So it was time for me to not be in an airport every week. I was doing a lot of traveling. I am literally lifetime titanium with Marriott for a reason. I've probably stayed over 1,000 nights in Marriott. So it was time for me to not do that anymore. And my husband's older, so it was, like I said, important that I not travel as much. And so corporate was it was just time for me to do something different. But I've been working with insurance agents and financial advisors for literally decades. And I love working with insurance agents and financial advisors. But I wanted to offer a unique product or a unique service that they may not know about that can help their clients, but also their businesses as well. Found life settlements, researched life settlements extensively before opening my company, and I absolutely love them because there are so many people who do not know that their life insurance policy is an asset that they own. Any policy, even a term policy, as you know, and as an asset, it can be sold. And so this is a great way to help clients and a great way for insurance agents and financial advisors to help their agencies as well.
When you went through the research process, how did you do that?
Yeah, so it was a lot of phone calls. Of course, the internet, but not everything you see on the internet you can believe. So it's a lot of phone calls, a lot of talking to people. I have very fortunate to have a couple buddies of mine who are insurance commissioners and ex-insurance commissioners. And
Oh,
so
wow.
talking to them, yep, absolutely. So in talking to them as well, and they were very positive on life settlements. They like life settlements because it's another option for consumers and for clients, and it can be a better option for sure than just lapsing or surrendering their life insurance policy. So it's a lot of due diligence. And what I love about our industry is that it's so highly regulated. When it started, 40 years ago, it wasn't regulated at all. And that's not my world. If it was not regulated, I would not be here. But it is regulated, and that just kind of sealed the deal for me that it's just very, very compliant and highly regulated by the departments of insurance in each state.
So, getting away from insurance and work, what do you like to do for fun? You live in Palm Springs?
I do, I have to, I'm really boring from that perspective that I like what I do. So I work a lot, even on the weekends. But I do like to also put around the garden. And a very cool thing happened this morning. Our mayor in New York just had a baby. So so we have a new colt in our little world here and a new mouth to feed.
In New York, you said.
He's in New York. Yeah, she's a thoroughbred mare, and so he is a thoroughbred colt, and hopefully he's going to have a wonderful career ahead of him.
Oh, that's great. Is that a farm in upstate New York or?
It is. Yeah, it's a farm it's about a half an hour outside of Albany, about an hour away from Saratoga. Yep, he's upstate New York.
Oh, wow, that's a beautiful area. I used to live in New York City for a long time, and we had driven up there in that area, and there's a beautiful museum outside of Albany. Yeah, so I really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's beautiful country for sure.
So, what else could you tell us about life settlements? How many um companies? I think there was uh you send it out and people either bid or not bid on it. How many companies are really participate in this area?
Yeah, so that's a good question. It's a it's a small big market, or I should say big small market, whatever it is. There's a lot of investor money there, which is great. But there's not a lot of buying entities. So, meaning that it's a finite market. Where we fit in the picture is we are life settlements brokers. There's very few people in the country that just focus on life settlements, first of all. And second of all, whose fiduciary duty is to clients. And our fiduciary duty is to clients to market their policy to obtain the most amount of money for a policy that we possibly can. And we have access, back to your question, to about 30 different buying entities, legally approved buying entities, right? So we only work with licensed, approved entities by each state. But those entities may have 10, 15, 20 funds behind them. So volume wise, there's quite a lot of individual funds, but the buying entities are a more finite number.
Very interesting. And then I think I caught short little video you were on maybe a show in the Palm Springs area. Oh,
Yeah, I was on the Desert Living show, and I
that was
just
it.
love, yep, I just love just telling people that we're here because 500,000 seniors a year will lapse their life insurance policies, and lapse means they stop making the premium payments on them and they let them go, right? Walking away with very little or zero. And a couple of million seniors a year will surrender their life insurance policies. And surrender means that they have cash value in them and they just grab the money and give the insurance policy back to the insurance company, right? And on average, selling a life insurance policy can generate 3 to 5 times cash surrender value. So clients, because they don't know that this is available to them, can be leaving a lot of money on the table and not know it.
So when you started your business, how did you really start to market it?
So my focus is always with referral partners. I have been fortunate in the 30 years I've been in the business to work with a lot of different insurance agents. And so my first focus was reaching out to them because once again, many insurance agents don't even know that this is a thing. And so that's one of the reasons why I chose it is because it is so unique. So that was my first focus is to reach out to them, and then it's just expanded from there.
Oh, that's great. Is there anything that over the course of working with settlements that you didn't know that when you got in that truly amazed you, or you did a lot of research? I know you said before you got into it, but well, once you got into it, was there anything that surprised you about the business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of it is the level of compliance. Like I knew that it was heavily regulated. Until you feel it, you don't know it, right? And so to the point where um, doctors have to sign off a letter for each client that says that they're of sound mind. That's a big deal. Beneficiaries have to sign off. So everybody knows what's going on. There's no surprises here. If somebody has had a bankruptcy in their past, that's fine, no problem. But the buyers are going to want to see those bankruptcy discharge papers just to make sure the policy is not promised to a creditor, and they never are because bankruptcy courts don't realize that life insurance policies are assets that can be sold. But anyway, they need that documentation. And if somebody has a divorce in their past, the buyers are going to want those divorce papers. Why? Because they've got to make sure that the policy is not promised to an ex-spouse, through a divorce. Sometimes that happens where a judge will say, or part of the divorce papers are like, you have to maintain a life insurance policy for your ex-spouse. So they're going to want, I mean, it's that level of detail to make sure the policies are unencumbered, that everybody knows what's going on, everybody signs off. And that's a very, very good thing. I just didn't realize the level that it would go to be sure. But the reality is it's all a good thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, I I've asked you a lot of questions. Is there anything that I didn't cover that you think people would be interested to know?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'll give you some examples because this is kind of weird, right? People say, oh my gosh, why would anybody want to sell their life insurance policy? And at the end of the day, here's what it looks like. Clients just don't want the policy anymore. Maybe they don't need it anymore. They've had it for 20 years and the house is paid off or the kids are gone, or maybe my spouse has passed away, or maybe the policy has just gotten unaffordable. Maybe it's a term policy that's ending and they're just not going to do anything with it. There's a lot of different reasons why somebody may want to look at selling a life insurance policy versus just, like I said, letting it go for little or nothing. And I'll give you a client example. We just sold $1 million universal life policy, but by the way, this can be policies as small as 100,000. They don't have to be $1 million policies, but this gentleman was in his 70s. And the policy had imploded, meaning that there was very little cash in it. As we get older, the cost of insurance was chewing up, if you will, the cash that was in the policy. Had $1,000 left, and we marketed the policy. The opening offer for his policy was $75,000. And by the time we were done, it was $275,000. And this gentleman was going to walk away from the policy with $1,000, was going to surrender it for $1,000. Instead, he got 275,000. So
Wow.
that to me, that's a job well done. I'm very proud of that. Obviously, he's thrilled, and the insurance agent that I worked with is happy as well. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. There literally is no downside to what we do. The worst thing that happens is, it takes us 60 to 90 days to market a policy and we don't get an offer. Okay, then the client walks away and at least they know they've looked at all their options and they're not leaving money behind.
Before we get any further, I completely forgot to, if somebody wants to contact you, what's a good contact for you?
Sure, a couple different things. My phone number is 714 area code 349 7981. So I'll repeat it real quick, 714-349-7981. And my last name is spelled REHB as in boy, UR, G as in George. You see that on the screen. So my email is lrehburg@aol.com, or our website is rehburglifesettlements.com.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you joining us today. It's always been a pleasure talking to you. You're always very perky and very upbeat, and you're a very positive person to work with. So it's just an honor to have you on the show today. And when we take a break from looking at financials on the markets, where we look at financials in people's pockets. So continue to do what you do. You do a great job, and we hope to see you around one day soon.
It's such a privilege to be here. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I am just absolutely thrilled. So thank you.
You bet. Once again, this has been Mornings with Michael. We have a business profile, sometimes monthly, sometimes a little more than monthly. So feel free to tune in. And all of our information is for information, educational, and entertainment purposes only. And we look forward to seeing you when the markets are open again on Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody.